Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Sunday and we're going to actually try to finish the monjamarch coloring here. I'm going to work on different areas and hopefully we'll get it all done today. So this is how far we've gotten. We've gotten the lovely little lady on the swing all colored. Now we're just going to color the rocks and the sand and the sea and the sky, and then we'll work on these beautiful flowers down here. And of course, then we'll do the background and the frame. Lots of work to do. So I'm just going to get started here. I'm going to switch you on over to the close-up camera so we can have a better sight of what we're doing. I'm going to put that music back on for you, and then we're going to color some rocks. So these are stones, big boulders here. So we're going to color those. And we're going to start with dove gray, I think. And I do apologize. It seems that the curtain, because I have my curtain open, is going to give a big shadow. So hopefully it's not too distracting or too covering. It is pretty covering, isn't it? Oh, bummer. I was hoping to be able to color in the sunlight, but unfortunately, that would only work if I'm coloring with the other hand, and I can't color with the other hand. So I'm just going to finish this part here, and then I will be right back. I'll leave the music on and let you look at this pretty picture while I close those blinds up a little bit, just so we're not getting a big shadow. So just give me 1 second and I will be right back. Okay, so that makes it a little bit darker for me, so I'm going to turn this light on a little bit, and hopefully I won't get that shadow back. So I've gone through and I'm just filling in these dark areas that Monya has given us with the dove gray. And I'm going to actually take a bit of green gray and just add to it a little bit, right into that gray, just to give it a little bit of a look of moss growing on it. Because you know, sometimes when you leave stones long enough, the moss will grow on it. Like they always say there, moss doesn't grow on a rolling stone, but it definitely does on one that's standing still. Alright, so we've got the green gray on there and we've got the dark gray on there. You know, these stones aren't going to take very long to do at all because they're stones. That's all they are. Not a lot of detail in them. Although there are some times where I can take hours coloring a rock, especially if it's a gemstone. I'm terrible at those. Okay, so what I have here is white gray. So it's almost gray but not quite white. And I'm just going over the entire lit area, I should say, not lighted. The entire lit area there. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of the darker gray to areas that I think should have a little bit more of a gray color. Now we're going to take the gray lavender, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with the green gray, and we're just going to add a little bit of color to them. Just so they don't look like, bleached out rocks. Just giving them a little bit of warmth. And I know, don't do that. I almost did it. So we're going to dust that off, and we're going to work on these ones over here. Sorry, I'm a page mover. So we're going to start with our Dove Gray, which is our darkest gray. And we're just going to go into the areas that the artist has given us that are going to be dark. And we're just going to fill those in a bit. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday. I know I said I was going to do this earlier, but I slept in. I actually slept in this morning, which is, well, not really slept in. I got up at really early and thought, I just don't want to be awake. So I went back to bed. And then I slept in. Alright, now we're going to take our gray-green, and we're going to give these rocks here a little bit of a moss. Just in little areas around the edges. Where moss would grow. Those little breaks and crevices. Alright, and then we're going to take our gray lavender. We're just going to deepen those shadows a little bit. Give it some color. I do apologize if I'm talking too low. Everybody else in the house is still asleep, so I'm trying not to wake everybody up because then it gets chaotic when I'm trying to film. They're usually pretty good on Saturday for my live stream, but they're not used to me filming on Sunday, so because normally I don't on Sunday. But this Monya Gates hashtag monjamarch, I really wanted to finish, and I've been biting at the bit to add color to her some more, so, and I don't want to do that without you guys, so I wait. So we're almost done with the stones here. I'm just using that gray white to blend it all together and do the highlighted areas. And give them a bit of life. maybe a little bit more dark gray in that one. Pink's a little bit too prominent. That's a little better. And just blending it all together now, just like we did the other ones. And now the stones are done. So now we've got these little pillars here, and I'm going to use grays on it because it's weathered wood, but we're still going to add some browns to it as well. So I'm going to grab brown, which is just brown, but I need to sharpen it because I need some tip to this. I used up the tip. I guess brown earth would probably work really well for it too. Let's see, do I have brown earth out? That's dark brown. That's mid brown. It doesn't look like I have brown earth out. So it should be right there. So this one actually might work a little bit better, giving me some dark brown. So we'll keep both of them handy. We're just going to go down the dark areas. And I'm just going in the direction of the wood grain. And the direction of the crevices and shadows. Trying not to put too much fresh color on it, because what happens with wood, as many of you know, when it's out in the elements and out, especially when it's out by salt water, is it grays really quick. Alright, now we're going to take our green gray color and we're just going to put a little bit in there. You guys probably can't see it at all, but I can. And then we're just going to take our, that's too light, so we're going to take our darker gray and we're just going to put a layer of it down, and then we'll blend it all together with our lighter gray and lighten that darker gray up a little bit. The gray I'm using is called Dove Gray, so it's got a bit of a warm tone to it, so it works really well for aged wood. I don't know if that's actually a part of the tree or not. It may just be a part of the tree. And then we're just going to go over it with the gray-white and just blend it all together and tone it down a little bit, so it looks like very aged wood that's been out in the elements. Okay, so there's that done. Now we just have the sand to do, which we need sand yellow. I'm pretty sure I have it out here. Yes, there it is, light sand. And then we're going to actually use ochre, yeah. Okay, well that explains that. I'm looking at these colors going, well, why do I have that there? Because it's a different set. Dork. I think I already have ochre out somewhere. No. Where is my ochre? There it is. I found it. So I've got light sand and I've got ochre. Now I'm going to sharpen the ochre, but I'm not going to sharpen the light sand because I want a fairly dull point on the light sand. Because we're going to be doing a large area, I want a shadeability. Okay, so, sorry, I'm going to turn you here just a little bit. And we're just going to take the ochre and we're just going to go into those areas. Especially down here where the water meets, and go in a little bit further than the line. This is just a dune. It comes up, the water's up here. So down here, the water's going to meet somewhere onto the sand. And so we got to make sure that we put in some sand color so that it doesn't look like it's just a drop off, because who would let their child play on a drop off? So just to give it that gradual from sand to sea look. We'll make sure that we put in a little bit of this darker sand color. Make sure that we get it around the rocks here, because the rocks are going to give a shadow. The dunes, the movement in the dunes is going to give a darker look. And then we got to figure out where the water comes in. I think it starts just after here. So I'm just going to put a little line of this darker sand color up into there, so that when we do the water, I can go over it with the watercolor and have it look like it's lapping over the wet sand. I may even go over that with a bit of a darker brown, depending upon how it looks with the water when the water is added. So now what we do is we just take the light sand color and we just shade. Now you don't have to do really hard, because we'll be layering it quite a bit. But because it's such a vast area, I like to put down a layer of just shaded, light shaded area first, very loosely, and then we'll come back through and add more depth and color to it. Large areas are not my favorite. I'm not very good at them. But we all gotta do them, so. Because there are a lot of really nice pictures out there. Absolutely gorgeous pictures out there that have these vast areas. So we just learn how to color them and move on with life. Or we start using things like pastels. That's what I usually do with most of my really large areas. I just use a pastel. or some ink. But this isn't that large. It's not so big that you can't use your pencils in it and get a good result. Like I said, it just takes a little bit of time to, of course, shade it all, and then go back through and add your definitions. Just make sure that you do go around those flowers, but really tightly, because those flowers are not a part of this part of the picture. That's on the outside or on the inside of the window, depending upon how you want to look at it. Now I'm just going through with just a bit of a heavier hand, like it's just above a light shade, but not a hard hand type of thing. And we're just filling in some of that white spot. Now I'm going to leave some of the white spot because white spot is our friend. And even though I don't believe that myself sometimes, there are some instances where that white spot texture and that paper texture works to your advantage. And this is one of those times, because sand is not all one color. Sand is multiple colors. And in order to get that look of the light hitting and reflecting, we gotta leave that white spot in there. Because there is a lot of grays and blacks and yellows and all different colors in sand. And I'm not going to color each and every grain. I'm just going to color it sand color. But if we leave that white spot in there, it does give it that grainy look, like the sand. So make sure that you leave some white spot. To give it that look of sand. And down the center here is where I'm going for that look. So on the dunes on either side where the rocks are and that sort of thing, I am going in with a medium hand and enhancing that color a bit. And once I get the light down to where I want it to be, the sand color down to where I want it to be, I will go through and add a little bit more of the ochre to give that shadow depth a bit more luster. Now, this is a trick on the eye. She is not over top of all that sand. That's all out in front of her. But she is over top of possibly this sand here. So we're going to darken that down here as well, just to give that shadow a bit. So we're going to take the brown and we're just going to add just a really light amount of it. We'll do the same thing into our shadow areas. Just a little tiny bit. to accentuate those, to make them stand out a little bit more. That's the thing about coloring, is you can have it all in your head, but then you look at it going, yeah, that just doesn't look right that way, and then you add a little more and add a little more until it looks right. Sorry about that. Seems somebody decided that they needed to email me. I thought I had my phone on silent, but I guess not. It's just always silent. It just only rings when people want to sell me something or scam me of something, so. Oh, I'm not even in camera. Sorry, guys. Here I am, shading away. Now, is that out of focus? No, I think it's okay. So just giving that a little bit more of a brown. And we'll do the same on the other side once we're done fiddling with this side. Now I'm just using a really light hand here, just filling in a little bit of the white spot from the movement of the sand into this area here. Same with down here. And this one is the ochre, so it's a bit of a darker color than the sand color. And we're just giving that little bit of shadow there from her swing. And then we're just going to go through the sand color here and just give a little bit of a more of a depth. We're going to leave a line of light there. Because there is light everywhere in the sand. Sometimes it can be outright blinding. We're just going over this dune area here, making sure that we get all that shadowy bit covered. Then we're going to take our brown and just add a little bit of definition, a little bit more shadow. And then we take our ochre and just blend that in a little bit. Okay, so there's our beach area. Now what we have to work on is the water area. So we need to pull some nice aquatic colors out. So I have gray-green out, which is a good one. It's a nice light one to start with. And sea green. That's dove gray, that's not the right one. And I think there was some really good ones in the... Oh, I'll lift this thing. It's all heavy. Because I've got the two different sets. So I know I want it's not a lot of really aquatic-y kind of colors. There's sea green or sea blue. Yeah, sea green. And the gray green. But there's not really a turquoisey color, is there? Okay, so we're going to grab the turquoise from, turquoise green from the Chroma Flow, and then we're going to add some ice blue. No, we're going to add some turquoise metallic as well, just to give it that light shimmer. I think that's right. We'll see how this turns out. So I've got 3 different sets, all Derwent. They're all Derwent, so it's not like I'm mixing different colored pencils together, which you could do. I just, it makes me have weird panics when I do that. I don't know why. I'm weird. Okay, so the sea green, which is the darkest of the colors that we have out, I'm just going to go in really lightly into these areas that are lined out for us, where our wave lines are. And I'm just going to go in there very, very lightly, just to give it a bit of a darker color than what we're going to use for the rest of the picture. I'm also going to go up here where the skyline is, and I'm doing that fairly dark there as well. And I'm going to bring that darkness down in just little shimmers, little waves. Like that. Now we're gonna trying to not completely turn it upside down, but I think I'm gonna have to. Okay, so I've got you turned completely upside down, so I apologize. But I need to get to the area here and try to keep it all in line. Because that's the horizon line. Dark area here for the little shimmers in the water. sand out far enough, but that's fine too. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go over the sand area here. And I'm going to do that with the gray-green. And I'm going to just add gray-green to our darker areas, like for example the sand here. It seems I may have woken people, but that's fine. I knew they'd wake up sooner or later. Mom's doing stuff. We must wake up now. So I'm just accentuating those shadowy areas, the movement in the ocean here. Okay, now we're going to take our turquoise green and we're just going to shade in all of that water right over top of all the other colors, and we're just going to shade it all in. You don't need to go too heavy because there's light reflection off the water and all that fun stuff, so we're going to actually add a bit of a metallic to it to give that reflection. But make sure that you go into all of your colors, all of your watercolors, with your green blue, with your turquoise, just to make sure that water is the way it should be. Like I said, it looks like there should be a shadow here on the water from her, but she's not anywhere close enough to it to have that shadow on the water. So you don't need to worry about, like around her arm here, whether or not there should be a shadow there. There definitely should not be. Okay, now we're going to turn you just a little bit to this side. And I know she's upside down. We will turn her right way up as soon as we get the water and the sky done. little bit more in here. And of course, I'm just shading. I'm not using a heavy hand. So any areas that I feel are a little too white, I'm just going in and just adding a little bit more. Like that. Now we're going to take our metallic. Which one's this? That's gray green. So we're going to take our metallic turquoise, and I'm just going to sharpen it here, just so I get a bit of a good edge on it. And this is the Derwent metallic turquoise, which is number 10. And I'm just going to go into these areas like this, just to give them that little bit of shimmer. Some of the areas like this one here, where it's a little bit darker, I'm going to go in a little bit harder. Following those lines. But most of the areas that I'm going to go into, I'm just going to do a very light movement lines. Turn that so that I can look at it the right way around and make sure I'm not going too heavy in some places and not heavy enough in others. Now another thing that you can do with water to show the movement is you can definitely just grab a white gel pen and just follow those movement lines. And once I'm done the picture, if I feel that I've got too much darkness there, I will probably do that with an eraser. But to me it looks pretty good, so I'm just going to leave it alone without playing with it, mucking with it, and that sort of thing. I do want to take my dark blue here and just add a little bit more to the horizon line here, just to make sure that it's nice and consistent. All the way across, because then we've got to start our skyline there as well. Okay, so far, let's take a look at it so far. Main camera, there we go. So far, that's what we have. And I think it looks pretty good. We've just got the skyline to do, or the sky to do, and then the pretty flowers here. And I think we might get the sky done. But, you know, well, what we'll do is we'll get the sky done, and I'll take a break, and I will record part 2 and combine them all together and make one long video for you, because it's almost done. Let's grab our blues, because we need a couple of different blues here. We need electric blue, that's green, a little bit of baby blue, and what's this one? That's a gray. Don't need a gray. A little bit of baby blue and a little bit of a little bit of electric blue, a little bit of blue, a little bit of baby blue, and that should be good enough. Now we're going to sharpen up the two main color, well, two basic colors, and turn you around again, and I'm going to put you back on the close-up camera. So what I'm doing with the electric blue, and I'm just going to hopefully move you so that you can see the whole area. There we go. Is I'm just going in and bringing that skyline out. From that dark tealy green from the sea into the blue of the sky. Now I want it nice and dark down here where it meets the ocean, but as it moves up I want it to, of course, dissipate, not to be as intense. So try to make sure that you keep your line fairly straight while going across here, because we're going to add another layer to that line in just regular blue, and then we're going to bring that all together with baby blue. Just try to keep your line down here at the where it meets the ocean color at a good intense blue color. I think I've made that line there a little bit too thin, which is fine too. That's Mother Nature doesn't always run in exact straight lines, so. Alright, so we've got the electric blue down. Now we're going to use blue, and we're just going to go up. We're going to go right through the electric blue, blending that all together. And then I take our blue, and I'm doing this fairly lightly, just a medium hold on the pencil, I think. Not heavy-handed, but not shading light either. And I'm putting a band that's quite thick into the skyline here. Now we could do this as a setting sun or something like that, but I took into account the fact that this is a small child and it is a beach setting. So I don't think, I know me as a parent, I wouldn't want her out there when the sun was setting. So I decided that it was too dangerous for her, and I actually did. Decided it was too dangerous for the pretty little girl to be out there at the setting sun, so she's out there at midday playing in the sun. See? I am crazy, I'm telling you. I get way too into the pictures I color sometimes, I think. But it makes it a lot easier to understand what colors should be there, what colors to use when you actually put yourself into it a bit. Try to make sure that your line is fairly straight. You know, definitely Mother Nature isn't going to do a straight line, but sometimes she does, especially with layers, when she's layering color. If you look at a skyline, sometimes you can see how that line is so straight. The color graduation from one layer of atmosphere to the next. I know. Alright, so now we've got the baby blue here, and once again, just going to go over everything, blend it all together. And now this time I'm using a bit of a heavier hand to blend those colors all together. I don't think the artist intended on her to be outside playing at night anyway, so that's my view on it. Now I'm just going to turn the book here. Sorry guys. I know I'm a horrible page turner. I'm just going to tip you so you can see what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm just going through and I'm shading at this point. I will go through and I'll blend this to make it all one consistent area and to get rid of the white spot, because I don't want white spot in this area. Unless I'm going to add some clouds, which I'm not. I really don't want white spot in this area, so. Now if you find that you want that darker area to be a little bit darker, of course you can or higher, you can bring that up higher into the areas. I'm actually going to just bring this up to the tips of the tree here. And I might actually go through that area with a lighter cloud blue, but we'll see how light that is. It might be too light for this tropical oasis here. And I think I'm going to bring that darker blue up just a little bit here. And because I've already put the light blue down, it actually calms it down a bit, so it's not as bright. And it does give that gradiated effect. That we want anyway, so. And like I said, I am going to go over this with a blender pencil and blend those grades together, so. I do want to try to make sure that I've got enough color on the paper to blend. So I am going through and going over it a few times to get that tooth as full as I can possibly get it, so that when I do blend it, it's not going to just make a mess on the paper. Now I'm going to take this one here, which is cloud blue, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to move into, make sure that I've got the right one, yes. Move into that light blue a bit. And I'm I'm just going to very lightly shade the second half of the skyline here. And then I'm going to go over it with the baby blue because I don't like the way that it's looking. So, but I think with the baby blue over top of it, it will tone down that baby blue a little bit to give that extra gradient feel. Brain is not working anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm just doing that up in this area that the tree is in. This is a little bit too much of a gray. Not enough of a blue. But that's fine. Like I said, I'm just doing it up here where the tree is, and I'll go over it with the light blue just to give it that lighter color feel. So because I know that's what I'm going to do, I'm loosening up a little bit so that I'm not getting a really deep dark color there. Like over here I went a little bit deeper with the color. So I am going to sharpen, well, maybe not, I'll sharpen it after. I'll do this part here first, and then I'll sharpen this light blue to get into the crevices and whatnot of the tree. So I'm just going to go over everything, blend it all together. Now, like I said, I am using a fairly heavy hand here, so it's going to eat up the pencil quite a bit, very quickly. Now I'm going to take that blue again, and we're going to extend that out. Actually, we're going to wait until we actually have a layer of light blue down there. But we're going to extend this area out the same way we did this area. But we got to wait until we get the blue down. And as soon as I get this area done here, what I'll do is I'll sharpen the pencil, and we'll go into those crevices and everything else that I've put that cloud blue in, and blend that into this blue and make it a lighter baby blue. And do the same thing with white. I was hoping that that was just a lighter color of blue, and I didn't look at my color chart, which would have told me, yeah, that's too gray, but that's fine. It'll work. We will make it work because we're cool that way. Because we are just that fantastic. Okay, so I've brought that up to about the same height as I did on the other side. Now I'm going to go back in with this baby blue, and I'm just going to blend it all together and bring that other color up a little bit. Make sure that our baby blue is a baby blue, not white. Like I said, you just got to make sure that you have enough layers down that when you go through with your blending pencil, that you're not going to be tearing the page. Because we all know that the blending pencil needs the wax box to move. It needs to be able to move the color. If you don't have enough color there, it's not going to be able to move it. But don't put down too much that you compromise the color that you want it to be. Now I'm going to sharpen it, so hold on 1 second. I probably should have used ice blue for that, but oh well, now that I look. So I've sharpened the pencil and I'm just coming back through and I'm going over top of all those areas that I used that cloud blue in. And just filling in all those areas. Like I said, once we add the blue, it lightens that blue up a little bit and gives another dimension to our layers. Which is kind of cool. And I could have just done this all one color, but if you ever look at the ocean, at the skyline, it just goes from the darkest, deepest blues into the lightest, airy blues. And it's so cool to watch, so cool to look at. Because as it starts getting to sunset or sunrise, those colors change and it's just phenomenal. Like if you're looking at it at night and it's completely black and you know the sun is going to start coming up, stay and watch the sunrise, because all this blue here, it just turns into yellows and reds and oranges, and it's just gorgeous. Not like any of you haven't seen a sunset or a sunrise, but oh my goodness. One of my favorite things growing up was sitting down on the beach watching the sun go down. Never watched it come up, but I always used to watch it go down, and it was always phenomenal. Coming up, I used to watch it from my bedroom, but that's different. I could still see the skyline, but I couldn't see the beach itself. And there we go. I think we've got those colors in there as deep as we want them to be. Now I'm not giving any shadow to the tree because it's over top of the beach and we've given it its shadow here. And we've given her shadow here. So there's a shadow down here in this area for the tree. There's a shadow in this area here. Of course, you're at it down here for her swinging. So we don't need to add the shadow areas into the background because we've already got them in there in the foreground. Because even though she looks like she's flying in the sky, she is actually not. Alright. So, and I won't bore you all with the blending, so we'll do that off camera for you, but I'm going to hit the main camera here so you can see what we've accomplished so far. I'm just going to bring you in a little bit. So far that's what we've done today is we've added the sand, we've added the sky and the ocean, and of course the landscape. I'm going to take a quick break, so I will be back. I'm going to come back and I will film part 2, and I will finish the flowers, do the frame, and publish everything all at once because it's almost done. It just needs these flowers done, but I need to do a really quick potty break. So I actually might even just leave you looking at this pretty picture and just leave the music flowing for you, and I will be back. I'm just gonna mute the mic. All right, guys, I will be back. Let's give it a 5-minute break, and I will be back. All right. All right, thank you so much for that. I had to go to the bathroom. So that, yeah, we're all done now. So now we're going to work on these beautiful flowers here. So I'm going to move this over and move my coffee out of the way. I had to say good morning to my husband. So we're going to concentrate on these flowers. And as you remember from the last video, we colored this one. And we used electric blue, and we used baby blue, and we used purple. Where is my purple? I think it's this one. Blackberry. No, that's blackberry. We don't want blackberry. We want this one. Royal purple. That's the one we want. So we're going to use these three colors, and then of course yellow for the centers with some little bits of brown and whatnot. So I'm just going to start with the purple here. And I'm just doing this very, very lightly. And I'll come back through and I'll intensify that color after I get the other colors down. It's just like I did here. Layers, layers. And hopefully you guys can see that okay. And I'm just going into the veins where all the little veins are. Curl up the petal here. Shadow of the other flower. And I'm just putting a really light shadow there from the other flower and this leaf. And I'm doing it with the purple because it's the darkest color we have. So when I go over it with the light blue, it'll lighten it a little bit, but it won't completely remove it, which is what we want. And we have the choo-choo going by, so hopefully it doesn't get too loud for you. I know everybody keeps telling me they can't hear it, so I can hear it. So might get a little bit of shaking going on. This one's moving quite quickly. And I'm just going in the direction of the lines that are here. I'm not doing swirls or anything like that, except for down here where it's connecting to the center of the flower. Because we want that to be shadowed in that area there. This flower has lots of petals. Might actually have to sharpen this pencil. Okay, so we've got the purple down. Now we're going to take our electric blue and we're just going to move up from that purple, and we're just covering over top of the purple with the electric blue and filling in the spaces around it. And that'll give us that nice deep purple color. And the deep blue color. I like this electric blue color. It is a nice blue. It's a bright blue, but it's a dark blue, but it's not a dark blue. It's not like a navy blue or something like that. It's just a nice bright dark blue, if that makes sense. I'm trying to make sure I don't cover the area that I'm coloring so you can see it. I'm really enjoying this artist. I keep watching Tammy streams, and she has done so many gorgeous pictures for monjamarch. It's just fantastic. I started a little late and I didn't know what was going on. Otherwise I would have started at the start of March too, but I'm always late to the party, so it's all good. I didn't know, but until I saw Tammy's stream, I didn't even know that Manya had a website, or not a website, a Facebook page. I knew she had the website, but because it's in the book, and I should just assume that everybody has a Facebook page nowadays. But I hadn't colored any of her things, so I didn't want to join a group that I couldn't post in, because, you know, I try to make sure that I can post in every group I join. And I color so many different artists. Sometimes it's hard to join artist groups because I feel bad because I've colored 1 or 2 pictures from that artist, but haven't colored anything in a while. So I haven't posted in a long time. And then I get the feeling that I need to color that artist, and when I do that, sometimes I just don't enjoy it. So that's why I don't usually join a lot of Facebook groups. I did join Manya's because, yeah, I just love her work, and everybody in that group is just so talented. It's like Patreon. I want to join everybody's Patreon, but just can't afford it. You know, if I joined everybody's Patreon that I enjoy coloring, I'd be broke in no time. Probably divorced too, because my husband would look at the bank account and say, "What the heck are you doing?" Sending us to the poorhouse. Now, I do find that coloring the flowers does eat up the pencils quite a bit. Okay, so we've got our dark blue down. We've got our electric blue down. Now we're just going to fill it in with the baby blue. And we're just going to cover all of the white and brighten up the blues, brighten up the purples, and make it all pretty. And I could have done these yellow. I could have done them pinks and that kind of color. I don't know why, but this purple and blue combination just screamed at me that it needed to be done. So that's what I'm doing. Just make sure you don't move any excess with your hand. I was just about to do that. Don't worry too much about your white spot at this point. We're going to be going back over it with some of the deep blue, some of the electric blue, just to cover up and enhance those layer areas, as well as a bit of the purple. I know I don't usually put out videos this long, but I really wanted to finish this up. Hi. I think it's turning out pretty good. I'm really pleased with these Derwent pencils, that's for sure. Alright, so we're going to take the electric blue again, and we're just going to brighten that blue area up a little bit. Now that we've got our light blue in there, we know where our light lines are going to be. And where our shadowy areas are going to be. So then we can just lighten or darken as we go. And of course I'll go through and I'll make sure that it's all blended together like this flower is. And this one I'm gonna hopefully I'm not completely boring you all. Sometimes my brain gets to that level of, okay, this is concentration. I'm just darkening the bottom areas here, just to make sure that I've got enough blue there when I go through and move it all around. So, alright, so let's grab our yellows. What is this? That's lemon yellow. I don't want lemon yellow. I want, well, maybe I do want lemon yellow. I want lemon yellow and ochre. And I'm just going to put down the lemon yellow. Actually, I think I want a bit of brown too. And then we're going to actually take the brown we're going to do our shadow areas in here with brown. And then we'll take the ochre and just enhance that a little bit with those lines. I'm not going to do all the lines, I'm just going to do enough that it is enhanced a little bit. And then we'll take our yellow again and we'll just go over top of it all. And there we have that. Now, no, they're all the same. I was wondering if maybe they were different types of flowers, because these centers look different, don't they? But the leaves are all the same, so we'll just continue. I'm going to sharpen these up because I need a good sharp point on them. It's amazing how much time it takes to finish up a flower. Alright, so we've got those sharpened. Got one more to sharpen here. That's our light blue. Okay, so let's take our purple and we'll start all over again. Into the shadows, down to the base. I know this is the boring part where it's all the same thing. Sometimes that's one of the things that I have troubles with, is staying on track with doing the same pattern. That's probably why I don't do mandalas very well, because patterns, I just don't like them. I don't mind little patterns, but a repetitious continuation of the same pattern over and over again, I can't do it. Sometimes I can. Every once in a while I get into the requirement in my brain to do one, but I would rather work with the flowers and the scenery and the scenes if I want to do things repetitively. Because every flower is a little bit different, even if you're using the same colors. Okay, so I need my brush because it's got purple dusties, and I don't want to rub my hand through it because that would be silly. Okay, now we've got the electric blue here. You know, and I could probably do this, you know, in a quick shading fashion, but I'm not going to get the depth of color or the dimension that I want, and that'll just frustrate me. So I'll be patient if you'll be patient. Patience is not a virtue that I have a lot of. Sometimes I can be very patient, but when I feel like I'm wasting somebody else's time, I have a problem with patience. I rush things too much so that I'm not being a burden, I guess. But I'm not wasting your time, because if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. So I'm just going to shut up now. That just dawned on me. Is that bad? All right. Almost. Almost done with the blues. So now I'm just going over it with the baby blue again. getting those light areas all filled in and blending those darker areas together. Now this one I think had enough lineage in it from the artist, as well as the dark colors that I used, to not require any more dark color addition. Otherwise it might end up just too dark. And we don't want it to be, you know, too dark. And like I said, I will go through with a blending pencil and make sure that I get it all blended together in the areas that I want blended. I have gone through and blended, like I said, I blended this flower and I blended her dress and that sort of thing. But for things that have texture that I want to see some of that white spot in, I did not blend. Like the tree and the sand, I won't be blending it, or the water. I could blend the water if I wanted it to look like a complete sheet of glass, but because there's some movement going on in the water, I'm not going to do that. And then we're going to do our center. And we're going to grab our brown. And we're just going to do little ticks, little edges. Like that. On that one. And then we're going to move you over to do these last two, and then we'll do the final parts of the leaves and the stems, and I will do the outer ring in a nice gold color, and then not quite sure what happened there. Make sure that it's not because my hand was rubbing on it. Nope, it's part of the book. Okay, good. I thought maybe my hand had rubbed all the ink into a smudge, but there's a bit of a ink smudge there. I think it's probably just a bit of a shadow that Manya put in, so that on the background it'll be shadowed. Alright. See, this one here just looks so much different. It has such a different feel, but the leaves are very similar. I think she got tired of repetition too. Okay, we'll take our blue I'm not going heavy or over the top with the dark blue right now because I want to see where that light line is going to show up so that I can follow it better. Because like I said, this one is a little bit different than all the others. Maybe it's just a closer look at them. But it doesn't even flow the same way. Different angles of things can really change how they look too. Which is, another one of those cute things with dimension. Alright, so let's add our light color here. So I'm using baby blue, electric blue, and royal purple on these flowers. Now, of course, if this is taking too long for you, you can always speed it up to 2 times its speed. I've done it before. My voice doesn't sound too munchkin-like. And you can definitely still hear and understand everything I say, so. And the music actually doesn't sound too bad sped up that way either. So, just in case you decide that you want to speed through any of it, you can definitely do that. Of course, now that, we've reached almost the end of the video, I tell you that, right? Not like any of you don't already know that. But I have done it so that I could check and make sure that I don't sound like a squirrel having a fit. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this purple again and go in down here at the very, very bottom in the base and just fill in those areas that are showing a little bit of the white spot that I don't want to see down there. And of course, once I do hit it with the blender pencil, that all will go away as well. I just want to make sure that I have enough of the color there to blend it, because if I left it too light in color, that would not blend very well at all, and you just end up with an odd mishmash of color and a lot of white spot, and we don't want that. Alright, so we've got our yellow. And then we're going to take our brown. take a bit of this ochre. And there we go. Now this one here, we're just going to put little ticks of purple because this isn't got the full petal showing yet. So most of this is still in the blues. And then we'll take our blue. I'm just going fairly softly, except for down here at the bottom, going a little bit harder. Because I want a deeper blue down here. And of course, like as you already know, as soon as I hit it with the lighter blue, all of that darker blue will be blended together. So not too concerned on any white spot that may be showing. Just make sure that you don't color your greenery. See, we're almost done. Well, at least with the flowers. I've just got to do the greenery of the flowers. Okay, now it's time for a sip of coffee. Oh my goodness, that's better. My throat was starting to get dry. Alright, so now I need my greenery colors. And I need lichen green. And I need, no, pale mint is not what I need. I need a medium green. And I think light green and pea green will work well. Okay, so the type of flower that these are and the type of greenery that they're showing, they do have a bit of a brown green into their stems and into their their opening area here. So that's what we need this green for, because it's a bit of a brown green. We're not going to use a lot of it. We're just going to use enough that it looks appropriate for the flower. Oh, good coffee. Yum. Okay, so we're going to sharpen this up. It's sort of like an olivey, a brown olivey green color. Like I said, we're not going to use a whole bunch of it, just enough to make sure that it has the right appearance, especially with the type of flower bauble that we have here. Okay, and then we're going to take our pea green and we're just going to fill that in over top of it. And if it's too light, then we'll just take a bit of the dark green and just fill it in a little bit more. This is one of those layering experiments where you have to go through and just put in a little bit of color, a little bit of color, a little bit of color until it's the right color combination that you need. And I'm just going to take this brown green again. And then we're going to take our medium green, or pea green, and we're just going to blend it all together. Just like that. Now I want to do a light green on here. Just to get any of the white spot out. Now on the leaves, this vein down the center of the leaf is this. Ack! I just broke it. See, Tammy, I'm not all that gentle with them sometimes. I didn't mash it, I just broke it off. I'll fix that. Thank goodness for erasers. Can't believe I just did that. I know better. I know these are really, really, really soft pencils, and I know better, but I still did it. Sometimes my hand is a little bit heavier than it should be. We're also going to go into here and do the shadow areas with it as well, just to keep everything pretty much the same. Just make sure that if you have a really sharp pencil, you don't push on it. Otherwise, you're going to end up breaking the tip. As you just saw. Okay, so now we're going to take our dark green and we're just going to go around those edges a bit. Sometimes you do this and you end up with way too much, and then sometimes not enough, and that's why I do try to do it as light as I can so that I can make sure that I can add, especially when I'm coloring in a coloring book that I've never colored in before. Because I didn't print this, I don't know what is the best or what kind of tooth it has, and I've never colored in this book before, so I don't know from the book itself what kind of tooth it has. So now I'm just going around and adding the pea green, which is our next lightest green, and I'm extending that color of green as close to the veining of the leaf as I can without actually touching it, because I want the light yellow or light green to actually cover the rest of it. Oh, that's not showing you the proper color because the light is washing it out on you. Alright, you'll see it when I put you over to the other camera. I'll give you a better idea of it. Turned off my light, now I can't see. There's enough light in here. It's fine. I used to use a very, very bright light to color with, and it makes my cameras go crazy, so I haven't used it in a while. And I turned it on the other day and almost blinded myself. It's really one of those things that I used to do because it would light up all of that white spot, so I wouldn't miss any of it. I would go around and make sure that all the white spot was covered. And then as you go along, you figure out that sometimes that white spot's a good thing. But it drives me crazy, so I don't usually leave it unless it's absolutely necessary. It has taken me a very long time to decide that I don't need to cover all of the white spot. It's taken me a long time to become friends with the white spot. That sounds bad, but oh well. Yes, girls, white spot is your friend. Sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, I should say, because I know I have a few subscribers that are male that watch. At least 2 or 3. I know a couple of them watch because they just like the sound of my voice. But that's okay. Well, they learn about color and stuff.
and they support me, which is fun. Yes, I'm talking about people in my house, so my kids do it. They just watch sometimes just because. I swear sometimes they are put to sleep by my voice too, so. Maybe they should be listening to my videos more. Maybe they'll get to bed at a proper time. Wouldn't be so bad if they would actually, go to bed at an appropriate time when other people in the house have to work. But, yeah, as teenagers and young adults, they do what they're gonna do. Until they move out. And then I get my crap room. I keep on teasing my oldest about that. It's funny. Mama needs her craft room. Better start looking. Alright. We're almost done. And then we'll maybe do a quick wash on the wall. Background there. Just not sure what color would be best. Maybe a nice pink. I don't know. Don't know what color to do it. I'm terrible with backgrounds sometimes. I just don't know what colors to do things in. Alright, now we're just going to add a little bit of dark green to this. And then we're going to move you over so that we can finish up these leaves here. Try not to push too hard. And basically all I'm doing is I'm just following the line down the center of the leaf. And all of the little veins and everywhere else. Alright, so that part's done. Let's grab our dark green, and we're just going to go around the edge. Trying to stay as close to the edge as possible, but not right on top of it, so it doesn't look like there's, well, you can go on top of it, but don't just stay right on top of it, is what I mean. Go over it a little bit so that it doesn't look like it's just got a green outline, if that makes sense. Bring it in a little bit. There we go. Then we're going to take our pea green, which is our next darkest green, and we're going to bring it in as far as we can bring it in without touching that center line. And we're just going to do these ones down here that are shadowed mostly with the darker green. And then we're going to go over the entire thing with light green and blend it all together. Make it all pretty. Leaves are just funny things. Sometimes you can just color them straight green, but what's the fun in that? I won't bore you with the background and this part of it, because I'm not quite exactly sure how I'm going to do it. So I won't actually film that part, but we will do the ring that's around the picture, and we will finish up these parts. And then I will post it in the finished product in Monja's Facebook page, as well as my own Facebook page and the channel's group page, and all those wonderful places. Yes, we do have a Facebook group, so if you want to join us over there, you can definitely do that. The only thing that we do actually require is that you fill out the application. It's just a couple of questions, and it's there to protect our members so that, with all the weird things that are going on Facebook, it's a protection mechanism that's in place from Facebook to allow groups to make sure that the people that are coming in aren't bots and stuff like that. Okay, so that one's all done. Now let's do something about this ring. Let's see. No, I could have swore I had a gold one in. Maybe not. Okay. Let's grab this one, I think. Yep. So this is just gold. So I've got the Derwent metallic here, and I'm just going around the circle with this golden metallic, and I'll outline the circle after I've got it all colored in with some darker brown. I'm trying to follow an invisible line here, so it's really faded here. I know that's probably not even. I'm terrible with adding things. To me it looks even, but I know it's not. as I'm going to get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this with the gold, with the metallic gold. And then I'm going to go around it with some brown. And give it that ability to look like it's shiny. I know this is a metallic pencil and it should look shiny, but the one thing I have noticed with a lot of metallic pencils, especially when you take pictures of them, they're not shiny. It's really hard to get the shine to show on a metallic pencil. And like I said, I'm just filling in the lines as I go, because some of them are really, really faded. And once I add the brown, then I'll go through and I'll take a bit of a yellow or a golden yellow and just brighten it up a little bit. The one thing I do like about these Derwent metallics is they're very soft. They're not scratchy. And sometimes you get a metallic pencil and it is scratchy. I don't like scratchy pencils very much. Sometimes if they're really, really hard pencils, you expect it. But if all the rest of the set is really smooth, really soft, and then you pick up a metallic and you touch it to your paper and it just goes, that's never fun. That's when I think it drives me the craziest. Is, you know, the entire set is buttery smooth. And you grab the metallic, the two metallics or one or two metallics that are in the set, and they're like running your nails down a chalkboard. I have a couple of sets like that. Sometimes I strongly consider grabbing all the metallic pencils out of my sets because I don't use them very often, because of the fact that a lot of them do that, and sticking them in the countertop bin, because they'd be really pretty in the countertop bin. The countertop bin is a thing of pencils that I've been collecting for my craft room whenever I do finally get it done up and actually get the children out of my craft room. Right now, their bedroom. Um, I'm going to have Bob do me up a countertop out of acrylic with pencils in the center. All different pencils. Because I think it'd look cool. Is that terrible or what? My poor husband. Constantly finding things for him to make me. So I'm just using brown. I'm just doing the edge. Like I said, some of these areas I've had to draw in, so they're not straight. They're not even close to straight. I don't draw very well. I can color, I can't draw. I can draw eyeballs. Really good at drawing eyeballs. And cabins. I'm really good at cabins. Especially if I have a ruler. Alright, almost done. We're at the halfway mark. Now I'm trying to make sure that I don't make this brown area too thick. But I'm also making sure that I make it thick enough that it shows that there's a edge to it, that there's a round to it, which is not working very well for me because I couldn't draw a straight line if my life depended on it. And I've had to draw in some of these lines on the outside here. So I don't know if it's going to look very nice, but we'll see. Like I said, they're not even close to straight. Alright, so now we're just going to go over that. Well, let's just throw that anywhere. Just going to go over it again with the gold. Very lightly. Just to give it a little bit of that metallic shine, if it'll pick it up. Oh my goodness, this is a long video. Maybe I will. Sorry guys, I didn't realize it was going to take this long. But it's almost done. If I thought it was going to take another hour, I would have stopped the video at the point where I took the break and do a secondary video tomorrow. But I didn't. Now it's a very long video. Alright. Alright guys, I'm not going to torture you any further with this. I'm going to show you how it's turned out. Okay, let's... Oh, sorry guys. Bring in a little bit here so that you can... Oh. Just trying to make it so that you can see the whole thing. And I know how to do that, and I'm being stupid. Hold on a sec. There we go. So there it is, all finished up. Of course, the background isn't done, and I will do the background before I post it. I hope you all enjoyed this coloring. And of course, thank you, Tammy, again for introducing me to monjamarch. Thank you, Monya Gates, for drawing this absolutely gorgeous picture. This is in Color My Dreams 1 by Monya Gates, and it is the second to last picture in the book. And like I said, I will blend all of this, and I will do the background and everything else, and I will get it posted for you all. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. And of course, join me tomorrow for Collection Mania Monday and, you know, all that fun stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to the channel and you've actually made it through this entire video. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and leave me a comment. It always helps me out in understanding what you all want to see and what you enjoy. I do have a Amazon affiliation, so any of the links in the about section below the description of the video are my Amazon links, so I do get a small commission from those links, so please hit the links. It does help me out in providing for the channel. And was there anything else? I don't think so. Again, I wanted to let you know that the wonderful person that did win our Tips and Tricks Tuesday draw did get a hold of me and has contacted me. So congratulations to her. I hope she enjoys her books. I have already mailed them, but I don't have any tracking information. So hopefully she gets them quickly. Other than that, guys, how are you liking the picture? I think it's just turned out absolutely spectacular. The artist is just absolutely brilliant with her drawings. Thank you, Monya Gates. Thank you, Tammy, Amazon Tammy here on YouTube, and thank you all for sticking with it and watching all the way to the end if you have, and enjoying this color along. All right, guys. Thank you for the event. Relax, color, and stay safe. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye for now.